What is going on, guys and girls? And today I want to talk a little about the changes to the some of these two-handed skills, and they basically turn into the slam skills. So in Path of Exile Harvest, they've created a new category of skills called slams. So basically, it tries to make a slow and stronger playstyle and make it more popular in Path of Exile. So that's it. They created the whole new layer of the skills and tagged them as slam skills. So first of all, there's a new support which is called the Fist of War support, and it kind of works like the Ancestral Warship, which appears on top of you and just periodically creates a mega dig slam. It's like a kind of a savior of the Shockwave or the Mirage Archer, which just repeats whatever you do. The real question of this is how efficient will this be? Like, will it really be a dramatic impact? Is it really worth to place this support in your sixling? How much is the uptime of this? Is it really worth spending a skill gem for this Fist of War support? Currently, I am really doubting this. The second interesting thing, and was actually hyped me the most about this whole thing rework, is the new skill gem called the Earth Shatter. Earth Shatter is a new level 12 slam attack that sends out 5 damaging fissures in all directions when you slam the ground. At the end of each fissure, a spike bursts from the ground and remains for a short time. If this spikes out in the area of another slam or war cry used by you or an ally player, the spikes will explode, dealing damage in the area around them. Okay. You can alternate between slamming with Earth Shatter and using Warcry, letting you kill enemies around you by detonating your spikes. Well, the first question here is, isn't it clunky to hit them with the Earth Shatter and then, like, let's pretend they just don't die, you need to detonate the fissures? There's actually in the video here, I'll show you guys what's the problem with the skill. So see, there's the Earth Shatter. It's kind of a perforate. It creates this star-like protrusions in the ground. And these are the fissures. See, in the end, there are creates the fissures over there. And now here is the problem. The area that these things hit is really small. As you can see, like, there's a big pack around, and these guys are just completely unaffected. Like this guys just keep shooting. This is like absolutely safe. These guys are just don't give a shit. So only very few monsters were hit by this, and then this happens. And then he uses Warcry and starts detonating the fissures. And this is when the actual explosion happens, and this is when the actual shit dies. So I question myself, how clunky will this be? It looks like some detonate mines. It's like some fucking mine slam skill. I mean, I want to slam and kill the enemies. I don't want to detonate them. Because there's always skills like Earthquake, which doesn't need any detonation. Like Ground Slam, let's say, it doesn't need anything. You just slam and things die. You don't need to use Warcry. You don't need to detonate things. So I was pretty hyped for this skill. I even thought I was starting the Berserker with the Earth Shatter. But then I look at the video and I instantly became really skeptical, because I don't want to constantly fucking spam two skills. I really don't want. Because, you know, like I said, there's really a one-button skills. You don't need 2 of them. There's always Earthquake. There's always other skills. Alright, Tectonic Slam. Tectonic Slam has received an impressive new visual effect and no longer uses charge slams. It instead counts enemy charges to grant more area effect and additional damaging cracks on the ground. A larger and more consistent area effect. Wow, okay. Like it was lacking area effect? No. It now consumes an enemy charge every 3 slams rather than at random 35% chance. And the additional cracks that enemy charges generate can spread out further, for the base impact and are more deterministic. Okay, so are there any tectonic slam out there? Well, this looks like Fist of War, actually. Right, this is Ground Slam. This once again is the Earth Shredder, I think. Oh, this is Ground Slam. Oh, this is Sunder, probably? You know, another problem, guys, is like this video, it doesn't really show you what kind of skill is there. Unless you've been playing for ages, you don't really know what the fuck is going on. Like, what skill is are they showing right now? Like, what? They all look the same to me. And there's like 6-7 different skills out there. There's Earthquake, Ground Slam, Sunder, Tectonic Slam, Perforate, and Earth Shatter. I mean, that's a lot of skills, and they all look practically the same, so you have no fucking clue what is being shown on screen at this point. Only very few people even will understand what is being shown there. So there was no Tectonic Slam there still. There's Earthquake. This is still Earth Shatter. It looks terrible, actually. You see, like, he's practically not damaging anything. Now, this is Fist of War, I think. This is Perforate. I'll talk about it later. Oh shit, this is Tectonic Slam, and the AoE looks very bad. Wow, it kinda looks bad, guys. What the fuck did they do with the AoE? Larger and more consistent area of effect? I don't understand. It was literally covering the whole screen with area of effect. Now what is this? It basically doesn't even reach the enemies. It looks pretty bad. What the fuck they did with this? Looks pretty bad. Oh, that's weird. Alright, Perforate. Guys, Perforate is mostly the leveling skill, but it's not bad. I actually use it during my melee leveling characters sometimes, but the problem is that in the end game, it just doesn't have any competition because the AoE is just shit. Perforate just has absolute shit AoE. It's kind of a very up-close skill, not reliable, very bad AoE. It's cool, but it's basically just doesn't have anything extremely good out of it. It's an okay skill. It's just not good enough to use in the end game at all. So what they're trying to do is to make Perforate better, but judging by the videos, guys, unfortunately, I don't see it to be becoming better than it is. Unfortunately not. Alright, Sunder. Sunder has been there for ages. Sunder is one of those skills that had been used by many players on solo self-found. It's one of the most popular leveling skills that's been used for years. And whenever you watch some very old build guide for the melee characters, you'll probably see like, hey, go Sunder, level with Sunder, 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 Sunder. A lot of people will recommend Sunder still. It has been pretty, overshadowed by the Molten Strike, by the buffed Earthquake, and especially Cyclone, because the majority, like 99% of all players, use fucking Cyclone now for leveling and for everything. So Sunder has kind of became way less popular than it was a couple of years ago. But let's see what they do with the Sunder. As part of our effort to encourage slower and hitting slams, Thunder has become a much wider and longer but slower cascade. Using Thunder when one cascade is still in motion will cause the existing cascade to end prematurely. These cascades will always travel a minimum length, so you can still use Thunder effectively with multi-strike. Okay. No longer scales its radius, but instead scales its area of effect. I can't really understand like what they did with this. It's kind of a longer and slower, bigger cone. There was some thunder here. No. There's no thunder. There's Earth Shatter. It's really hard to tell what the fuck thunder is. Oh, this is Earthquake. Yeah, this looks like thunder, actually. I think this is either a ground slam or thunder. It's really hard to tell because, you know, they made everything wide and big, and it's really hard to tell what is like this or what is that. It's really hard to tell, guys. Earthquake, Ground Slam, and Ice Crash. These skills are receiving numerical changes which will reveal closer to launch. In general, the idea is to make them generally strong. Okay. Before you go, you should also know the Ground Slam, Thunder, Earthquake can also be used unarmed. So, unarmed means we get the Phase Breaker route once again. And possibly one with nothing. I'm really curious. There will be some unarmed Earthquake skills out there? Because, you know, for the Earthquake, AoE and melee strike melee range is very important. Basically, when you go Earthquake, you need to try to get as much AoE as possible. And going Phase Breaker, you definitely get an easy access to the damage. But what about the actual AoE? I think it will be lacking. It's not Cyclone, and it does need a lot of AoE. As a whole, guys, if I summarize all this, I would say that you know, it kind of gets better, but there is one major problem. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to force you to lure you into playing the new melee two-handed skills, right? But there's a problem. There's still Cyclone in the game. So, you know, this kind of a slower and stronger playstyle, it doesn't really appeal to a lot of players out there. 95% of players, like 99 maybe even, will still prefer Cyclone because it's easy, it does damage, easy to scale. It practically takes no mana whatsoever. It's very easy to handle. It's a movement skill as well, so you don't need to leap slam or anything at all. So overall, I think it's very hard to beat Cyclone at this point. And another problem with all these slam skills is that it also needs to be supplied by the strong two-handed weapons. Currently, two-handed weapons are in deep shit. It's very hard to take, let's say, Disfavor or the Starforge and scale it all the way up to the endgame. Because there's always like things like Paradoxica and Savior and foils, and even End's Might is fantastic weapon. So there's very little interest in two-handed weapons right now, and they need to be buffed in some way in order for them to really compete with Paradoxicas, let's say. It's incredibly hard to compete with weapons like this, and they need to not only buff the slam skills, like let's say like slam skills and two-handed skills like this, they also need to buff the two-handed as a whole, because without the buffs, all this is pointless. There will definitely be some players who will be trying new skills, and then they will realize like, holy shit, fuck this, It's not fun. It's slow, does no damage. I'm getting back to Cyclone. Again, take Paradoxicas, get Cyclone, GG. So it will be very hard for these skills to compete with Cyclone at this point, I think, guys. So let me know in the comment section, guys. What do you think about this Slam rework? What are you looking forward? You're gonna play something new like the Earth Shatter. I know that a lot of people will be playing my Earthquake. They keep talking about Earthquake non-stop on my stream. My Earthquake build is super popular, and if it has Google Earthquake Jag, my build will be the number one on Google. So it will definitely be very popular, and I will be definitely recommending it as the league starter because I love the skill. It's fantastic, it's strong, and it only gets better within this patch, that's for sure. So if you never played Earthquake, Ice Crash, let's say, definitely try it out. I think it will be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.